Hi, welcome to Select Obsession. We're all about creating electric things of value. Hopefully you've watched and enjoyed the first few videos in the series on converting your old Honda into an electric hub drive Honda. In this video, we're going to be discussing the two bikes that I've built over the last year, the original CT90 and the C200. I'm getting a lot of questions on why I'm even building these bikes. Well, electric vehicles are the future. And there's nothing more fun and cool than building an electric vintage Honda. Beyond that, they're virtually no maintenance. You just charge them overnight, ride them, and repeat. You're not tinkering with the bikes trying to get them running. Let's talk about my bikes. They're both vintage Hondas. They've both been converted to electric. They're on 17-inch wheels. They have 3,000 watt hub motors. They're 72 volts, and they have rear disc brakes. But beyond that, they're different bikes. The CT90 has a 35 amp hour battery and a cheaper controller. The C200 has a 30 amp hour battery and a nicer controller. That really affects the top speed and the range of the bikes. So let's answer the three biggest questions I get. What's the range? How long do they take to charge? And what's the top speed? So the range on these bikes. With the larger battery, you get an hour and a half to 2 hours out of the CT90. With the smaller battery and higher top speed, you get an hour to an hour and a half out of the C200. Now keep in mind, there's a lot of factors that affect the range. The temperature outside, how you're riding the bike, so that's a lot of accelerations will reduce that, or a high top speed will reduce that. The charge time. So this bike's about 6.5 hours with a 4 amp charger, and this bike's about 5 to 5.5 hours with a 4 amp charger. You can charge them overnight, and ride them the next day, and repeat. So the top speed. People always wonder, do these bikes go fast enough to get them on a real road? Well, the CT90, as you can see in this video, miles an hour. That's a respectable top speed. You can cruise this bike at 35 miles an hour, and if need be, get up to that 41. Now the bike that we're doing, I feel will have a higher top speed. We're going to include a better controller and just better electronics overall. The C200, well, it has a higher top speed. Check out this video. 51 miles an hour. Now I feel like that's a top speed that we're going to get with our build. It has that Saviton controller and just a smoother ride overall. The other big question I get is, what's the cost of these bikes? Well, if you do a bare bones build with just the rear wheel and hub motor, the voltage reducer, the controller, a battery and a battery box, and the rear brake, you could come at about $1,500. The challenge is to find a bike with good parts to build it up for a cheap price is probably going to be a bit more. So you do unfortunately have to invest a bit more into these bikes to get handlebars, shocks, some of the plastic, and a few other parts you'll need. This bike cost me about $2,000, and this bike cost me about $1,700. I think our build's probably going to be in the area of $2,100, but check out the parts list if you haven't checked it out already. It's got a full list of everything you're going to need. Now the weight of the bikes. The C200 is 170 pounds, and the CT90 is 180 pounds. This is really due to the larger tires and the bigger battery. Now that we've gone over the basics of the bike, let's do a detailed walk around of each bike.